Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network. And we are live tonight for the Las Vegas 150. And no one else could hear that, I hope. And this is the first
Oh
race
boy.
of the next round here, where we are going to set the stage for who is going to have a chance to win the championship in the final race. Joining me tonight in the booth, as always, is James Watson, and we have Dave back. Dave's taken a couple week hiatus from us, needed a little break, was tired of dealing with this. Dave, welcome back here, and you came
Well,
back
thank you.
just at the right time.
Yeah, I missed it because I was in Las Vegas and I come back to broadcast Las Vegas.
Well, tonight we got a tight points battle for everybody but Blake Reynolds and Jonathan Cutlip. Everybody else is pretty close. John got a nice little gap over fifth on back, but it should be an exciting time here tonight as you got Seth Rawls, Justin Wadsworth, Chad Frankenfield, Gavin Hibbs, Matthew Weeks, Brandon Wilkinson, Tyler Footy, Jonathan Cutlip, and of course, I already mentioned Blake Reynolds are the guys who are trying to vie for that shot at a championship after the next three races. And you see the starting grid lining up there. Scott Crump comes out, gets the pole position. He's going to be pretty happy about that. Unfortunately, it might be a little too late, as he did get knocked out of the playoffs last week. Then we got Jay and JP Phillips, Blake Reynolds right there in fourth, Gavin Hibbs, Trey Eitzen, Tate Lytle joining us tonight, Matthew Weeks, Wadsworth. Taking a look through this field, Chad Frankenfield outside the top 20 being a playoff guy. Cutlip back in 13th, Wilkinson in 12th. I am looking here, Tyler Fody back in. I don't know that we've ever seen Tyler Fody qualify this bad, guys. All the way back in 27th.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's gonna be a lot of fun watching him try to cut through the field here.
And then rolling off the very back of the field is Seth Rawls. Seth, playoff guy, was very excited about coming here to Las Vegas and moving on in the playoffs. And here he is. He's going to start out back as well. So as we get ready to go green, guys, I'm going to throw it here. We did not do this last week. We forgot, James. Who's your pick to win here tonight in Las Vegas?
I'm gonna go with Gavin Hibbs.
What about you, Dave? Who do you have winning tonight upon your return?
I am going to take Matthew Weeks tonight.
You take Hibbs, you have Weeks. I am going to take Justin Wadsworth to get this win tonight. The field rolls off of turn 4, heading for the start-finish line. Scott Crump in control. Green is out. Great jump there for Scott Crump. Hopefully, some of these guys are hoping for a little bit cleaner start than last week, as we had a lot of playoff guys wreck early in the race last week. Crump moves up to that second lane. Is going to let the 34 look underneath him here as they come off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch for the first time. And we have three wide there towards the back.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys.
Car. Whoa, big sideways for Campbell.
And now they're going to be 3 wide going around Campbell.
Yeah,
a lot of.
Bodie is not.
Go ahead, James. I keep talking
on you. You're good. Yeah,
a lot of these guys.
Car.
I was just about to mention the 40 car. Oh, and they're wrecking. Oh, it's Seth Rawls. Seth Rawls is in it. Not sure the damage, but playoff driver Seth Rawls gets a piece of this accident. Doer into the back of the 71. Oh, that is not what you want if you're a playoff driver like Seth. Just.
Yeah, too much of a bump from Dusty into Dave, puts the 71 into the wall, bounces off into the 25. Now, so far, it doesn't look like that's a whole heck of a lot of damage to see. Can Seth
There you see the one car get a piece of it.
Ooh.
Now the question is going to be, Did he just get hit in the door? If so, it's probably fixable. But if he got hit on either of the tires, that could be detrimental to his night.
Yeah, honestly, looking at it, it really doesn't look all that bad, if anything. I think Seth might have gotten really lucky on that. Unfortunately, Dave Carpenter was not lucky, and fairly significant damage for the 71. 32 as well.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that is, I mean, talk about dodging a bullet there for Seth if that's the case. I mean, when
Yeah.
you get hit like this on the straightaway and you're turned hard right at the wall the way Seth was, you typically don't get to keep rolling around here with the wheel straight and non-severe damage. I almost wonder if he sees it. Let's see if he pulls away. Like, he sees the 71 get hit. Does he start pulling away? He does start moving a little bit to the left. So he already had that left steer in, which probably kept it from hitting the wall head on.
Yeah, like, look at the rear bumper. Like, I don't know if you could have put a piece of paper in between that right rear corner of the 25 and the wall. And it was weird because if you looked at it closely, you could see the 71 kind of phase into Seth a little bit. So I wonder if some netcode shenanigans might have happened to maybe lessen some of the damage as well, because I don't know if I see anything on that 25.
Tell you what, that's dodging a bullet, and that's exactly what can happen when you put yourself back there in qualifying. You don't get a good lap down. You put yourself there at the mercy of the people around you. You know, Seth did not. It's nothing against Dustin Dewar or David Carpenter or anybody else who's back there, but when you put yourself back there outside of the top 25 in qualifying, you're kind of at the mercy on these starts and restarts of what everybody does around you, and I mean sometimes 7-10 rows in front of you. So you're just trying to get a clean start and hope. I think Seth is probably hoping for a long green flag run, and he feels like he's probably going to pick his way through some of this. But you put yourself at the mercy of everything, and sometimes it doesn't work out. But Seth got pretty lucky right there.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, the only meatball that remains from that incident is on the 32 door.
Now we are in the hands of Scott Crump once again. We saw him pick the bottom and move to the top as they got the turn. Curious if he does the same thing again. You would think if he wanted the top, he would just take the top, but maybe he's trying to, maybe he thinks the bottom's launching way better for whatever reason. They come off a turn 4. Getting ready to see the green flag once again is Scott Crump. Green is out. Great jump this time in the restart box. Of course, this time Scott had full control. Last time they kind of had to go at the same time with the flag, but this time Scott gets to decide when he's going to go in that restart zone. They head down for turn 1. He once again runs the middle of the racetrack.
Yeah, and it's leaving him susceptible. Meanwhile, it's going to be 3 wide right behind him.
That is Tate Lytle, who has not been with us for a couple of weeks.
Oh, look at that. 2 rows of 3 wide. What in the world? This is crazy.
If I'm a playoff guy that is not up here towards the front, I do not like seeing this.
No. Oh, look at this mass of humanity. Oh, boy.
This is a dangerous, risky game they're playing. Oh, and they're bouncing off each other.
Oh.
They just got away with what could have and should have been. Did the 20 lose a rear bumper?
Oh! Not sure. Meanwhile, it looks like Hibbs got some fairly significant, made significant contact with the outside wall off before. Man, they are racing quickly. Like it's 8 to go, not 8 laps in the race.
it is quickly, kind of funneling out. The 3 wide has now became 2 wide. Wadsworth right there with Tate. Cutlip right there, the 95 of Hibbs. Weeks in the 11. Jay's right there. These are guys I typically wouldn't think would be aggressive at this point in the race and get themselves into trouble.
Right? Especially with a few of these guys not being playoff drivers. Like, you're not surprised if you're seeing someone with a red banner being super aggressive, but definitely not expecting it from some of the other guys out here. But you don't hate to see it. You want to see stuff like that, because Lord knows it makes our job a heck of a lot easier calling this action. You caught a glimpse of Blake Reynolds dripping the lip up there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, we see some guys running way up high here down the tri-oval as well. Like, one thing I'm seeing, Tyler Fody is wasting no time driving through this field. Chad Frankenfield being aggressive. So these guys recognize that they need to go up here. They need to get track position. But this place is very abrasive on the sim and has a whole lot of tire fall off. And you see Chad running right there in front of a log jam. I think he just passed those cars, though. I think he's making passes.
You're correct. Yeah, this is, of all the cookie cutters, this is the worst when it comes to tire wear, with the bumps and I guess some of the sand blowing in from the desert. It just absolutely eats tires.
And we got a battle for the lead right now as well. Blake Reynolds, he says, I might be the only guy that's really locked in as far as having a race to have a bad race. If he wanted to finish last tonight, he would still be above the cut line. But he is going to go ahead and try to win this race and put his foot on everybody's throat. Scott's not going to give it to him, though. Scott still has teammates alive, so he's going to race him and see what happens and see if he can force him. I feel like there is a lot of guys out here tonight who would love if they could find a way to get Blake a couple bad races in this round and somehow get him eliminated from making a Champ 4.
Yeah, and you see JP Phillips is looking to maybe see if he can follow one of them through into second, but Blake's just going to tuck back in behind the 90.
And JP's one of those guys who's really good at mile and a halves. He seems like JP either runs right at the front or like 20th. It's no in between for JP a lot of times, but I know that on mile and a halves, I've raced with him and he's really, really good at tracks like this, so it's no surprise to see him up here towards the front. Blake gives up. He says, I'll fall in line. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll pass you in a couple laps. One guy I want to give a shout out to tonight is Matthew Weeks. His daughter just celebrated a birthday a few days ago. I believe if I remember correct, it was 14. So Matthew was telling me he was feeling old, but I tried to assure him that he is not old, because that would make me old and pretty much everybody else out here old.
My youngest just turned 21, so how does that mean?
I think I'm the youngest one in this booth, and even I feel old now.
Nobody's going to admit that they're getting old. We can still do all the same things we did back in our 20s. And right now, Scott Crump taking these guys to the woodshed, pulled away from Blake a little bit. Of course, Blake might be letting him do that. Blake couldn't make the pass. Scott's probably enjoying being out at the front.
Yeah, especially with how hard Scott was pushing a little while ago to hang on to this lead. So I imagine Scott's gonna have his hands full again within the next, say, 10 laps or so.
Yeah, and JP Tate, Wadsworth, Cutlip, Hibbs, and Weeks. There you see the set the tires, the stage points. Lat 40 comes in a hurry, and that's why we're seeing some of these guys who qualified at the back. We've seen Chad, Fody. There you see it right there. Wilkinson at 11th. Well, it keeps flipping there, but they're all running right there together trying to make their way through this field. We got 5th, 6th, 7th, and 11th, 13th, 14th. Fody and Frankenfield are about to be racing. That should be interesting. Chad's not going to give it to Fody, and Fody's going to feel like he's got to go. And they got Paul right in there behind him. Paul's a guy with some pace. David Tooker's right there. You see they're all lined up. Nobody's left the bottom, per se. You think these guys are feeling the effects of tire wear and have made their way back to the bottom?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but this is a massive train of cars. And look at Fody pull out, getting a massive run around Chad.
And you know Chad's going to race him. Chad's not going to let him go. Not much Chad can do, though, right now is the conga line on the bottom. And Paul's going to try to pass Chad back. Right? I wonder if Chad burnt his stuff up. I wonder if Chad, because Chad was up in front of the 20, and now he's starting to slide back. I think Chad took off really hard, was hoping to catch a caution here and pit, and then be able to drive for the stage. But without that, I believe he is starting to give some spots back that he had taken earlier.
That he desperately needs right now is, here we go, there's Blake around Scott Crump.
Scott's trying to come right back on him.
It's a lot quicker than 10 laps, like I predicted.
Yeah, I think Scott burnt his stuff up. Tate's going to try to get to the outside. Justin's going to have to move up and follow Tate. So it looks like about 20 laps, maybe, probably closer to 15, if I had to guess. They had that caution in there, so they didn't run all these under green. So probably right around that lap 15 range. Would you agree, James? That's when we're seeing the effects of tire wear and the guys who abused them?
Yep, I'd agree with that. Seems pretty spot on from what we can see here.
Oh, contact! Cutlip into Justin Wadsworth. That's a couple of team cars there. Well, a couple affiliates. A couple guys who work close together.
This series, they are actually.
Also,
and as you heard,
acquaintances this time.
Yeah, as you heard Dave say, they are actually teammates out here, and Weeks right in there. Like it's, man, I don't know. John typically doesn't run into people, so it had to be some kind of issue or something there, because he just ran right up into the 6 there. And I've got to tell you, and I know we keep talking about him, but I just saw him get into the back of the 13. Chad is getting desperate. He knows he's bleeding spots. He's starting to get up on the wheel. He's starting to get aggressive. He's starting to try to really fight this car and manhandle it. And I'm nervous for Chad.
I'm nervous for everyone around Chad.
I tell you, I thought he was going to spin Tyler a lap and a half ago down in 3 and 4 and there you see, look at Chad get sideways there. He is really struggling. You see the 92 ripping the fence, and Chad's really loose down there on the bottom.
So was Gavin Hibbs. Hibbs has some damage on the left rear corner. You can see it's pushed up a bit.
Well, I think that was from probably that contact we had early in the race when they were all 3 wide and whatnot.
Yep.
Because I know there were some frustrations there between him and another driver, and I think another driver even said something. So as bad as Chad is handling, he's not handling as bad as that 95.
No.
But that 95 has been running the
For
fence
ya.
a lot. Hey, that's your pick to win, right, James?
Yep, Watson Kerr strikes again.
And he's a playoff guy too, so like he's got to figure out a way to stop this bleeding. And I just don't know that he's going to be able to until they bolt on 4 new tires. He's now getting passed by Jeff Green. I mean, he's getting passed by 2 or 3 cars a corner. It was just 5-7 laps ago. He was just outside the top 5. And now I mean, look at this car. He is just struggling. Jeff got clear. Paul got clear. 42 almost clear. So he's really, really loose. I mean, that car goes down to the corner. It starts getting loose. He can't get back in the throttle. He has no rear security. Paul gets sideways there trying to pass Jeff.
Yeah, oh man. Look at this massive humanity brewing.
Yeah, that is, I mean, everybody's starting to get loose. I kind of felt like coming into tonight, everybody was going to get tighter, but that is not the case. These guys are really starting to lose the back end, especially center off. You see the 90 trying to fight off the 20 here, but...
Oh no! Going around there! Flying through the infield, no caution! Now
and the caution is out.
Music to the ears of a few guys on this track. Oof. Yeah, sound like both guys apologize to each other. Yeah, just it's like a racing deal to me. Gerald ran about middle of the track, I think, trying to give room to Hibbs. Leighton anticipated him to go a little higher, and they met in the middle.
That's the best way to wreck here, though, and yeah, you don't hit anything. Everybody had gotten really loose. Now, I float this question, James. Do you dare stay out right here and try to get stage points? I mean, the 95 bled all the spots. If I'm Gavin Hibbs, you're going to go back green with about 4 or 5 to go. 1 caution's all you need. Now, everybody's probably going to pit because that's the logical thing, but I do think there's a scenario where you could try to stay out and hope for a quick caution, because we've seen how these restarts are.
Staying out, hell no. Taking 2 tires, I believe we'll see a few guys look to take 2 tires. But with how bad the tire wear has been, it is, unless you get in immediate caution, you are going to lose a lot of spots immediately. That is just basically a death sentence with like a 5% chance, if that, of it working out. And looks like literally everyone brought it down to pit road. But there's the first one, Tommy Ryan.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get in a quick commercial break, and then we will take you to the checkered flag, if they can go to the checkered flag, when we get back to Vegas.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pick group. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to Las Vegas, where we were getting ready for the restart. Everybody took forward fuel. Everybody's about where they were when the caution came out. So I want to give a quick shout out. I know the racing is done for the year, and there might even be snow on the ground right now. But it's never too early to talk about getting your tickets for the races next year. And we're going to talk about Worldwide Technology Raceway. And they are a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri, close to the Gateway Arch. It features a 1.25-mile oval that hosts the Cup Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series through the end of the year, and then it will be the O'Reilly Series, and the Craftsman Truck Series, along with the NTT IndyCar Series, and a 2-mile infield road course used by Speed Tour Trans Am, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America, along with a quarter-mile NHRA-sanctioned drag strip that hosts the annual NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series Midwest Nationals event, and of course the Kartflex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. So it's, like I mentioned, never too early to talk about what you're going to be doing next year and what racing you're going to be watching. As the green comes out here, Blake gets a great jump. The battle for second between John and Tate, which is a little bit more important right now to John than Tate, as John is a playoff guy. Matthew Weeks, playoff guy. One thing I'm interested to see is right there around that 10th place, Tyler Fode, Chad Frankenfield. What are these guys going to do? How aggressive are they going to get? Trying to get some points right here.
Yeah, we only have 5 playoff guys right now scoring stage points. Just a little more than half of the remaining drivers. As we're
they get 3 wide right here. And you see Fode and Chad trying to work their way through it.
Yeah, they're trying to follow fellow playoff driver Brandon Wilkinson through the middle here. Whoa! Sideways for Wilkinson. Oh, and a little contact. Fode into Connor. Oh, and almost more contact. Chad and Connor. Oh, man.
Man, poor Jay is getting used up by these playoff guys.
He sure is. And then Gavin Higgins just cut off JP Phillips.
And Fode, we talked about how he started back there at like 25th. Oh, he's side by side for 7th. Maybe can go get some more. We'll see what happens.
And he's hoping, and Chad's hoping he can, so he can follow him through, as we're going to be 3 once again.
And that's a very tricky 3 wide. That's an offset 3 wide, as they do get clear at JP.
Ooh, JP slides up.
Chad looks like he just shot out of a cannon off of 2.
No kidding.
Incredible racing.
As suddenly you have 7 playoff guys up here in stage points. Only 2 outside so far, which is
and 2 to go in the stage.
Yeah.
Oh, and Chad's going to get to the outside of Fode, does he? No. Oh, Chad goes up the track, gets sideways.
Oh.
Nearly disaster.
No kidding.
One to go. The next spot for all these guys could be another point. That could be the difference in advancing versus not. Racing for a title versus not.
You see Cutlip looking to the inside of Tate. Tucks it in.
Here they come. Oh, big wreck on the back. It's him.
See, looks like Harry, Jeff Ryan, Cale Pocock.
And Hibbs is not happy.
No, he's not.
Ooh, Gerald comes down, gets the 3, which gets...
Uh-oh.
Does Gerald hit the wall? He does. He's going to touch the wall, and then he's going to pull away from the wall. Clips the 3. The 3 gets the 95. And the 95, who was having a rough night on the first run, it went from bad to worse. There you see, that's where the 7. 24 sneaks through. I think Hibbs doesn't get too bad a damage. So another playoff guy just skirts by. I do want to talk about the stage results. Blake Reynolds, Tate Lytle, Cutlip, Weeks, Wadsworth, Wilkinson, Tyler Fody, Chad Brinkenfield, Gavin Higgins, Tyler Pop will score stage points. And we got a split decision, no decision. They were just kidding. Oh, we do have one car coming down pit road. I do want to give a quick shout out, real quick. You know, we'll start with this. We want to give our thoughts and prayers to Josh and Jacob Adams. They are going through some stuff right now. I am not going to say what it is. I don't know if they would like me to, but just be thinking of those guys tonight and the rest of the week. And I also want to talk about Jeff Green. So we'll end on the good news here. And congratulations to Jeff Green, who was inducted as a member into the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway Hall of Fame earlier this week. So congrats to him for being rewarded for all his success on the racetrack. Of course, he was a menace on the Fairgrounds Speedway way back in the day there in the 90s before he became 2000 a NASCAR Busch Series champion Jeff Green. You see here Tyler Fody, Chad Frankenfield, both got to be happy to come away with stage points there.
Yeah, great runs by both of them to make their way up there in those closing laps, getting through all the chaos of how hard everyone was racing each other.
And you know, Death Rawls, all these playoff guys recovered from their poor qualifying to get some good stage points. Seth did not. Seth is still back there outside the top 20. Doesn't appear to have any pace tonight. They got to be churning some switches, churning some knobs in there for Seth, because if you're Seth, you can't afford to have an off night tonight and expect to make the Chant 4.
Yeah, there's no such thing as off nights in the realm before the championship 4. You need to have 3 of the best races of your life to make it in, especially with the talent level we have in this series.
Yeah, and it's, Seth got in, we mentioned, because of the late race. Like, he had to get bailed out last week at Talladega. Or Atlanta. Excuse me. With lots of chaos late, lots of stuff happening in those last 10 or 15 laps of that race that gave him the ability to get in. And you don't want to squander that opportunity away.
No, you don't, but not looking the greatest year for him right now.
We did have a few guys pit, but they are way out back. Field's in the hands of Blake. Green getting ready to come out. Green is out. Great start for that inside line. It's going to get two cars clear before they get to turn 1 on that inside line. Heck, Wadsworth almost clear.
Yeah, the outside lane had completely fallen apart.
Tate really struggling there. But here comes John on the top. Does he get there? Blake tries to shut the door. Almost caught him Gavin. The cars look just alike. Now they're 3 wide. Maybe a little contact between the 6 and the 56.
Yeah, I don't know if there was any contact between Blake and Cutlip, but the 86 kind of slid up a little bit, and the 5 had to take a evasive maneuver. I don't know if Cutlet needed to, but you saw the 5 jump way up, and that's what put them 3 wide for a second. Whoa! Contact between Higgins and Chad! They stay green.
And now they are 3 wide, heading towards turn 3.
Yeah, David Tooker trying to take advantage of this.
Oh, and there's contact in front of him. Matthew
no!
Weeks and Tyler Fode.
And Tyler Fode!
And I believe they were having a disagreement before that wreck happened. I heard Weeks say something to Fode, and the next thing I know, they were wrecking in the next corner. So they make contact. That gets the 40 loose.
Oh boy.
Weird way that contact got the 40 loose.
Right? Major championship implications?
Yeah, and we're going back to find out what made Weeks so mad here. I don't see anything that would lead to that. This is basically going to be the 2 laps before. We'll see a little bit of contact. So that's probably why Weeks was upset. But I'm not necessarily sure that they actually made contact. Now, Fode did run up the track. But we've seen that be the lane on the bottom.
I think there might have been a little bit of netcode, because you kind of see there's a little bit of space between both cars, and it's like contact, but the 11 shoots up the track, so you would think that little bit of contact wouldn't have done that to the 11. So I think there might have been some netcode there that kind of increased, for a lack of a better word, the contact that shot the 11 up the track. That's the only thing that makes sense on that.
And you see Weeks was seeing red after that. He drove into the back of him into 3, tried to get him in the middle of 3 and 4. Right here, Weeks tugs on the wheel, gets a little bit loose. He's going to drive to his back bumper again. And now they're going to go down here to 3 where the incident happens, and Weeks says, I'm just going to go up here and just keep running you up the track, keep running you up the track. And then there's a little bit of contact, but that was more like, that's a little bit of netcode there with the way that contact transpired too.
Yeah.
There's no way that should have turned the 40 sideways.
Yeah, and look at the front of the 40. Doesn't it look like it kind of, a little bit before this, it kind of looks like the front of the 40 kind of hops up a little bit. Like if you back it up a little bit, look like the front kind of went a little goofy.
Yeah, just this whole contact right here. It's weird the way the reaction, like it's like right there.
Yeah,
boom.
like look, you can see the front of the 40 car kind of hop up like he's got a lowrider.
But nonetheless, that's going to be a wreck. And the 11's probably going to have the worst damage out of the 2. But we did have pit stops there from everybody who did not pit the time before. So we've got Scott Crump, David Tooker, Gerald Campbell, Seth Rawls out front. The first car off of pit road is going to restart in about 8th place. It's going to be where Blake's going to take off.
You have mixed strategy this time because Crump took 2. Eidson, Gibbs took 2. Jonathan Cutlip took.
So it's going to be a crazy shakeup, major playoff implications there on that incident with 2 playoff guys getting frustrated with each other here in Las Vegas. And now it let the strategy split for this race, and we'll see how that shakes out.
And moreover, it's 2 guys that are heavy favorites to make the championship for. So there's some major opportunities open up for a few other guys here now.
But never say never, just like we saw with Seth last week. You know, they did get stage points, so they got plenty of time. Green is out. Once again, a great jump for the guys on the bottom. Unless you're behind Brandon Wilkinson, I don't know if he missed a gear or was in the wrong gear.
Norgard as well. The 12 did not get going either.
Here they come off of turn number 2. heading down the backstretch. The guys that pitted trying to make quick work of the guys that chose to stay out. Oh, they're 4 wide back here, right around set.
Mother of mercy. And we lived somehow.
I tell you, I do not know how they survived that. Blake is getting up on the top, and he says, no mercy on anyone. John worked methodically on the bottom. Blake just went to the top. And now they've had a coming together here right around Gerald Campbell.
Yeah, 3 wide once again is... Yeah, they're gonna clear Gerald as Eitzen trying to hang on to the outside of Crump. And
Blake on 4 tires, here he comes.
Yep. Oh, big
Trey sideways.
Eitzen. Trey saves it, my goodness.
Man, if that would have happened in the lap of John Cutliff, that would have been huge. It looks like 4 tires are definitely better than 2 tires and no tires and staying out. But you gotta question, how many sets of tires do these guys have left to go to the end of the race? My math says they've used 2, they got 1 left, so they're wanting to see it probably get to at least lap 70, 75 to feel comfortable putting on that last set of tires.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like the gamble didn't work. Haha, get it? Obligatory gambling joke here in Vegas.
It's not over yet, though. The gamble could still pay off on the back end if they get the right caution, a couple different spots, and get tires when nobody else has any or when they don't want to use their last set. So it's still got the long game. The short game, I think they knew they were probably going to fall back, but they're playing the long game and the hope that this thing doesn't run green. Which, with everything we've seen tonight, James, I think that's a safe bet, because I don't think we're going to run green. With as loose as these guys get on the longer run.
Nope. As you say that, someone got big loose off of turn 2. Couldn't quite tell who that was.
And now, on top of that, you got mixed bag of strategies with 2 tires, no tires, 4 tires. And we've got people who are upset with Weeks and Fody out here. So Fody's still in 27th. He must have some major damage on that machine, because he's not able to keep up. Weeks is not able to keep up at all. So I mentioned that Weeks was probably got the more severe damage, and he does. He's out here at a snail's pace. And Fody's damage, not as bad, but he does not have the pace to go up in this field either.
Yeah, I love my broadcast partner on Sundays to death, but I just don't know if that was the right course of action for the 11 to do there. I certainly understand being irritated and frustrated that someone may have run you a little hard. Speaking of running hard, we're 3 wide again. Whoa!
Oh, Tate Lytle's in the wall. Tate Lytle is in the wall. Oh, and they are not happy with Wilkinson.
Yeah, this is a late. Oh, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of room. And ends up hip check, Crump into Lytle in the wall. Yeah, the tempers. This is,
and they're 4 wide with Seth again.
Good God. Oh, no!
Contact!
Oh, my goodness! How in the world did no one die? Wow. It's a wreck that didn't happen right there. Good gracious almighty.
Oh, and I tell you what, are we at Las Vegas, or are we at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, or are we over here at the Bull Ring across the road with some of these tempers?
Right? Oh, man. This, I asked you short track racing, mile-and-a-half edition.
Yeah, there's some frustration out here. Guys threatening to wreck each other, and other guys saying, "Go ahead and do it. Don't halfway do it." Like it's quite a time out here. They're amped up. The pressure's on. It's playoff time, and Tate squeezing back up there on the top of 3 wide. He's trying to move back forward. Gavin's had a rough night there in the 95. I think he's one of the guys I heard voicing some frustration. It's been a bad night for Gavin. He was really, really off pace there on the long run, really burned his stuff up. Then he was involved in a wreck. Now he's not been able to get back to the front. The strategies have flipped, and he's on the wrong end of that as it stands right now. So, short fuse, right, James?
Yeah. Yeah. So much aggression. Good Lord.
And oh, by the way, the guy who just took 10th was the guy we saw spinning through the grass to bring out the first caution. And he's real loose right here. He might spin again. They're going to get 3 wide.
Oh, yeah.
I talk about him taking these spots and moving into the top 10, and now it's going back up. Tate Lytle's frustrated out here. Add him to the list of guys who are angry. That list is... I'm running out of ink in my pen here to talk about that list of guys who are getting frustrated.
Is anyone on this track not frustrated?
I think Blake's pretty happy.
I think
I'm just assuming, but I think he's pretty happy.
I think at one point Blake was probably mildly perturbed at something. But yeah, definitely at a much lower level than almost literally everyone else apparently.
And here's Chad looking to the inside here, trying to take 6th from Trey Eidson, who he is really falling back. Oh, we got a damage tally to the 26 for that contact into 1.
And that carries a point penalty, right?
Uh,
Well, that's some playoff implications right there.
well, I think that'll probably get reviewed and looked at after the race. That was pretty close. I don't want to run with a point penalty on that just yet. I don't.
But you're
know
right.
that
If
I
it sticks, it will be, I think, 5 points.
Yeah, I think that'll be looked at after, and we'll see what is held up about that, because we've seen a lot of things get overturned in the past. Of course, Chad wasn't involved in this one, so I don't know. We'll see. I also think for a damage tally, there has to be so much damage, so I'm kind of surprised to get that call before they've had a pit stop to go look at it.
I think they were basing it off of their feedback they were getting from Tate on how damaged it is.
If I was in Tate's car right now, too, after I got shoved into the wall, I'd be telling you it's awful, too. So, I am curious. I'm not saying Tate's making up that his car's not driving good, that it's not tighter, it didn't hurt something. But, put yourself in that car, you know, and you're going to say it's awful, as Matthew Weeks is losing a lap right now as we speak.
Or fast repair on it.
You know, there was a fast repair discussion going on here earlier. I was curious if they had one.
Are on.
Because I saw that there was some issues with going around tonight with this setup.
I may be wrong, but I think Cale Pocock was hired for accident.
Not ideal. Not ideal.
Nope.
And now we're getting into that area where we're almost to lap 70. If you think it's going to run green, you're going to want to pit sometime in the next 5 or 10. Because I don't think you can go all the way from where they pitted last. You might could if you pitted on the last caution. It'll be real close. But if you think you're going to make a pit stop, we're in that spot here where it's time to think about pitting, especially if you're going to do 4. Of course, it is risky with how loose these cars have gotten on the long run, but you don't. It's kind of like when you know that tires are blowing, like how the race was at Bristol. You don't want to be the guy to pit and then get burned by caution, but you don't want to be the guy that blows that tire either.
Right? Yeah, this is just massive uncharted territory for everyone here, and you know, you don't know what the right strategy is to do, so you're just gonna have to roll the dice. Obligatory gambling pun number 2.
Yeah, and it's a dice roll if you stay out or if you pit. Like either way, it's kind of taking a chance either way. Do you trust the field not to crash, or do you trust yourself to hang on longer than somebody else? Because that's all it is. It's kind of like if you and your buddy are out in the woods and you see a bear. You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just got to be faster than your buddy. And I got to be honest. If it's me and a buddy, my buddy's going to have a hard time outrunning me when he's on the ground because I'm going to push him over before I take off running.
Remind me to never go camping with you.
And our front 4 have separated. We've got Reynolds, Cutlip, Wadsworth, and Pop. And then it's 2 seconds to Wilkinson. Chad's right there. JP Phillips. So we are seeing this field kind of break up. With the fact that nobody has been on pit road yet, I think we might... These guys might be able to make it to the end. That's what I'm starting to think.
I don't know the numbers for sure, but I feel like 50 plus laps on one tank, that's gonna be pushing it here. I mean, it might be doable. I don't know, but
I think they can go around 55, right in that 55 to 60 range. And so I just feel like if everybody was going to have to pit, somebody would have been on pit road right now to try to take advantage of, you know, the new tires. Now, I could be wrong. Everybody might still make a pit stop. But, I mean, Gerald Campbell's a guy that I look at who always short pits. And the fact that Gerald has not pulled his car on the pit road yet tells me that I don't think we're going to see everybody make a pit stop.
yeah.
And Blake just wrapping the bottom there. So I think we'll chalk this up as a win for the guys who pitted and got tires over the guys who saved the set, because if a caution came out right now, it's going to be 20 to go restarting, and I feel like guys are going to be pretty safe with, you know, having tires. I'm going to tell you, the guy that looks like he might be the caution is Seth Rawls. Seth is, I mean, it looks like Seth is driving on a dirt track right now. He is really just, he's trying not to wreck out here.
Yeah, it's funny how it looks like in the top half of the field, everything is all calm and settled down, and then you look back here and it is anything but. Whoa, big sideways!
I'm telling you, Seth is really struggling.
I think it was Gavin Hibbs, actually, who got loose.
Well, no surprise there. Gavin's been struggling on the long, like all these guys right here just.
Whoa, you see another wiggle from the 95.
And this is frustrating because the 77's better than Seth. But he gets under him and the 77 gets sideways. And so he can't make the pass. You're seeing Seth mess up, but you can't take advantage of it because every time you try to, you mess up. Seth's catching the 56 who's getting sideways. But Seth tried to pass him a couple laps ago and Seth got sideways. So you're just kind of, oh, Gavin's in here at the wall. I don't know if that was going to work. He's trying. I mean, Gavin's trying. A for effort. But I don't think that there's much rubber left on that right rear tire either.
No, I believe you're right on that one.
And you see these guys are running everywhere. Now you're just running where you think you can get the best drive off the corner. It's just nobody's car is driving real good right now. And this is great. This is what we want to see. We want to see these guys move all over the track. We want to see tire fall off. These cars being hard to drive. And I think if you ask any one of these guys after this race tonight, they're going to tell you it was hard to drive out here.
Yeah, you see practically everyone on this track swatting flies, just trying to hold on to these cars. While a little closer to the front, Chad has gotten by Brandon Wilkinson. Starting to pull away, too.
I'm going to tell you, Chad's trying to low-key make a run at this title. If Chad wins this title this season, as a group, we will never hear the end of it.
Right.
I also think he really enjoyed coming up and talking to you last week, James, so I think that's what he's striving for.
I highly doubt he wants to put up with more of my terrible interview questions, but you never know. As he is faster than the 13 car here, as you can see.
I need a memory refresh. Dave, who did you pick to win this race?
I picked Matthew Wheat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I set you up. I thought you said Jonathan. For some reason, thought you picked Cutler. My bad. We won't talk about that. Then I thought that our guys were both still there and James was the only one down. So my apologies as we take a look at who is on. Oh, Weeks. Looks like they're loading up and headed home. Vegas did not work out for them. There's probably some birthday cake left over, though, Matthew can go have. Not all bad. He's frustrated tonight, but I know it's been a pretty good week for him. And so, but nonetheless, for tonight, it's looking like Blake, John, and Justin. And I'm wondering if Blake's been saving anything or if he's been giving it all he's got. What do you think, James? Do you think Blake's just sitting there running as hard as he needs to, or do you think he's got nothing left here to fight John with if John can get a little bit closer?
I think he's taking it as easy as he can. You know, he's got the clean air. I think he's just running as hard as he needs to just to keep Cutlip at bay.
Well, time will tell. We're down to the final 15 laps in Las Vegas.
Fuel-wise, Gerald has now made it.
Well, there you heard. Dave just brought it up. Gerald's went 52 laps on his tank of fuel. Now, there was a caution in there, so if it is that 60 range, Gerald probably is going to get to the end. Maybe right at the end of the fuel tank, but like I said, I felt like Gerald would have been on pit road already if they'd had to make a pit stop. So these guys are all obviously going to make it, but I want to tell you what, back around Seth, they are just in a hornet's nest, and right behind him, they've been 2 wide, 3 wide, just everywhere. You see Michael trying to make the pass on the bottom. Got to get clear and slide up. Can't do it. This is the stiffest battle on the racetrack right now between, I don't know what, these 6 or 8 cars. 24 is going to get clear here off of 4, so that's going to have a big run down the hill.
That just barely clears Tommy Ryan. That got close.
Tommy's not going to get clear. He's going to have to try to fight back down here in 3 and 4. Tate's also struggling backing up.
Yeah, all that work to get by the 66. Now he's going to lose that spot. And now having to battle with his teammate to his inside is 3 wide behind.
Yep, Tate's a little bit sideways right there in the middle of the racetrack. Somebody's throwing... Oh, it's Tate. Tate was throwing smoke off the tires.
Oh, no!
Contact! I think he's going to eventually spin out. I don't see him... Is he going to be able to keep that car under control?
What a save by Ryan Borges. That is unbelievable.
Oh, no!
Oh, no! Contact Green and Mikolajczyk. Mother of mercy. Oh, no. Hang on to it, Jeff.
Oh, we're wrecking and a caution is out. And Gerald Campbell's down there. Gerald Campbell, it's big. The 55's down there. I think the 51. If there's a 5 in your number, I think you're down there in turn 1 in the pile. There you see Gerald. There you see Jeff. There you see all of them. And Jeff was trying to drive that. But the tires are so worn out. You're trying to get it back gathered up. They're trying to dodge it. And you see how loose everybody is. They turn the wheel a little harder than what they have been. Brent Jones gets into the 55, who gets into the 31. The 51's going to come in there. We're going to have a... I don't want to brush this caution off. You see Fody just missing this wreck. Here you see where the 51
no,
gets
Harry.
involved. But we're going to have a big decision to make on pit road, James. It's Vegas.
Yeah.
You've been talking about rolling those dice. Well, you're going to be able to put them out on the table here and give it one good 2-tire call?
Yeah, I think if you're those that already took 2 tires on the last one, I don't think you can really get away with doing it again. If you took 4 tires the last time, I think you're heavily considering it.
It's about to be interesting. I don't see anybody staying out on the lead lap. So everybody's coming to pit road. The question is, what are they going to do for tires? And this is the longest run on tires. They've got about 35 or 40 green flag laps on these tires. So it's going to be a big risk to take 2, but I hope a couple somebodies try it. Is Jared Rexing the only one that's going to try it? Scott Crump is on 2. Scott Crump's on 2. Couldn't even get out there. The 88's on 2. Oh, the 88's asking for DOL. I don't think he meant to take 2. Well, here it is. We had a couple guys. Rexing's out here on 2. Harry's not pitted yet. I think he was trying to get caught up. If Harry stays out here, I'm for it. I am for the excitement that it would bring for a car that was just down there in that pile on turn 1 to stay out. Like, it would be so much fun for us, James.
Absolutely. This is going to be calamity.
And there he comes. I'm disappointed. I wanted to see Harry do it.
Yeah, but Harry's not that dumb. Harry is a smart guy. He's not going to do something that dumb and reckless. Would have been interesting as heck, but yeah.
I am interested in why the 10 just did what he did.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if
To
it
take the
works,
top, by the way, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either. You know, that being able to have that shorter line on 1 and 2 to help build up momentum really seems to work well at Vegas a lot. But Jared apparently feels more comfortable on the outside, so we'll see.
I think he didn't want to get trapped on the bottom, but I think you got to trust in your restart enough. And if you can, you have a guy on 2 tires on the top at 4th, you can trap a guy with 4 tires behind you. Now you've just let the 4 tires line up on the bottom, and I just feel like you're not playing good defense right there. Here they come to the restart zone. Green flag is out. Pretty solid jump. Not going to get clear, I don't think. They fan out behind him.
We are 3 wide to the surprise of no one. And
Devin
Blake.
Moore.
Blake through the lead, trying to follow.
Scott Crump is really struggling. Jared gets really stacked up. Contact. Oh, we've got a big wreck here.
Around in the back.
Crump's around. Seth is around. Cars are wrecking all over the place. Trey Eidson's blending back in turn 1. We had 2 wrecks right there, guys. So this starts when Jared's going to get sideways. That's going to force Scott to have to make a reaction. He lifts, gets hit, turns down a little bit, then he gets hit, and the 20 is going to get some damage. I'm going to tell you right here, when they shoot back up to the right, the rest of the field is super lucky because they're going to hit Tyler Pop. And then, wow, how did everybody miss Scott?
No kid.
Jay just dodges there. Oh no, Jay's going to hit the wall and get up in the air. Now behind them, I think the caution came out for Seth behind us. Like you mentioned, they wrecked before.
Oh no, it's friendly fire.
Yeah, somebody's going to hit the wall.
Yeah, Connor gets the wall. Seth goes down to avoid. No time for Ryan Borges to react, and ends up with Seth spinning off of the front of one of the other cars he owns, back up the track, and looks like he survived it though.
I got to tell you that this could have been a blessing for Seth if he's got tires, because he got spun instead of having to drive through the wreck that was happening. Well, the second. Now we're going to start getting close to that green-white checker territory. You see Harry back on pit road to fix some more damage. You see Seth back there. So Weeks is 32nd. Bad night in the playoffs for him. He came into tonight right in the middle of the field there. He came in at 5th, 33 out, which puts him 9 points in front of Seth. So Matthew really created some work for himself. Seth just got spun. He was running right in that 15th to 20th range, got spun. He's going to be able to bolt on some tires. We'll see what he can recover to. Tyler Fody, 21st, missed the wrecks there. But we know that his car is hurt, so he probably doesn't have to pace. If it runs the full green-white checker set to the end, Fody's probably going to lose some ground. He was a little bit better spot than Weeks is, but that's really going to be interesting to see what happens. And you got your pick to win tonight, Gavin James. He's in the same spot as Weeks, a little bit worse before the race started, and so Gavin, I believe, is 17th. If he can find a way to get inside that top 15, I mean, really, Gavin needs to find a way to crack the top 10. Gavin needs to get up on the wheel, and he needs a miracle restart here.
He needs the 2 laps of his life right here.
And this is going to be a green-white checkered, but it's a regulation. So theoretically, we can do this 4 times instead of your normal 3. So here's my question, James. How many times are we going to line up and do this?
Yes.
That is not a correct answer. It's got to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. What are you taking?
All of them.
There's no way we do 4. I'll say we do it.
Yeah, we won't do 4.
We'll do it twice. This time and one other time. I was breaking it down, you know? Just in case somebody's playing a drinking game with stuff that we say or some phrases, you know?
Which is it? Is it twice or this time and one other?
All I know is the green flag is out. Great start there for the bottom side once again. John Cutlip. Not a good start for John.
Yeah, you see, he loses a spot to Wadsworth. What is Justin half for Blake?
And do we get back to the white flag? They're 3 wide back there. They're 4 wide maybe. There's a lot of cars trying to fit into turn 3. And off of turn 4. The white's out. We're going to come back. We're wrecking in the back, but
Don't matter.
We're coming back to the flag. White flag is out. Racing for second, which is what Blake wants to see because that's going to let him drive away. They're 4 wide at the back again.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear is right. They come off of turn 4. It is going to be Blake going to go ahead and take the points from everybody here. Over Wadsworth, Cutlip, and we'll have to talk about everybody else here in just a second as they cross the line. Somehow, Wilkinson's going to get 11th. Fody got all the way up to 12th, I believe. 12th or 15th. There you see the wreck. They're going to get tight 3 wide here off of 4. The 77 is going to get up into the 42. Going to come down and catch the 24. Oh, and he's going to get the 42 one more time. First time wasn't good enough. I kid, by the way. I was obviously not intentional. He was out of control in the second hit. And then they wreck.
About it.
And that is it for that wreck, as Dave just mentioned. But we are going to get in one quick commercial break. We'll break down the results, and we'll talk to our top 3 finishers when we return to Las Vegas.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing picture. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to Las Vegas, where I am here with Jonathan Cullip. John, talk to us about your night. It seemed like you ran second for most of it. Bad restart there at the end. You end up third, but what'd you need to get Blake? And talk to us about the playoffs moving forward.
Yeah, it was an interesting night. Botched qual a little bit that put us on the back foot pretty early, but yeah, I was able to make my way up to the front relatively quickly, and yeah, just I needed a long run there. I felt like it was going to be a pretty good battle between the two of us. I felt like I did pretty good on my tires. I had a couple of slips, which hurt the right rear, but the tires were starting to get a second wind right as I needed to have them come back in. And unfortunately, we had a caution with like 10 to go and just pretty much just trying to survive restarts at that point and just hopefully you come out on the right side of it.
Yeah, and looking at the points here, you and Blake being up there, you guys just kind of set the stage for the rest of this round where you really just need to not have any issues, especially, Blake's got his lead over you by just 5 points, but you guys got a good gap over everybody else. So when do you start looking ahead to that championship race and trying to prepare for it?
Well, Blake should be locked into the championship race now, right? But I don't really focus too much on the championship, to be honest. It's kind of just win chasing at this point. We're both tied 4 apiece, I believe.
Yeah, you guys each have 4. The only other multiple winner is Ethan Stanley with 3, and obviously we know where those 3 came from on those road courses. So
Yeah,
you're not going to look ahead to the title at any point. You're just going to week by week try to win the race.
yeah, there's so much stuff that's just out of your control. It's kind of just like if it falls in your lap, it falls in your lap. It's kind of pointless to stress about it. But it's been a lot of fun racing Blake this season. We've been up at the front a lot racing each other, and we've been battling our friends, and it's been a good time just racing against everyone.
Well, all right, John, before we let you jump out of here, and let me see where we're heading to next here. Prepare for Dover next week and then Wilkesboro. So a couple fun little shorter track style races, which we heard Chaos kind of breaking out tonight. So Dover and Wilkesboro should be a lot of fun with some guys frustrated, but who helps get it done for you? Get to the track week in, week out.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised with the drama tonight. I'm kind of worried about Wilkesboro now. It's one of my favorite tracks, but it's a short track, which usually always gets physical, unfortunately. But shout out to Race CPI, Channel 199 Racecrafts, team over here. They've been fun to race with. Blake, Paul Mikalajic, Justin Wadsworth, and Gavin Hibbs, all great teammates, all fun to race with. Shout out to you guys over here in Elite, Dave, Chris Wright, and James Watson. You guys do a phenomenal job week in and week out. Shout out to my mom. She's always super supportive. I wish I had brought it home 2 spots further, but for where we started, it could have been a lot worse. So we'll take a P3.
Well, all right, John, it's always great talking to you. Hopefully we can talk to you a few more weeks in a row. About at least 3 more times this season, right? So come up and see us every week, and good luck chasing that title.
Yeah, hopefully we have a fun few weeks ahead.
All right, James, I think you're running down there trying to catch up with Justin, I believe.
Yes, sir. He is a tough man to catch. Justin, James in the booth, you got a copy?
I do. It's good to hear your voice again. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. First of all, heck of a run there right at the end. You almost got him. Is there anything you could have done differently there, white on the white flag to try to get by Blake?
I think really just trying to keep John behind me when he got inside of me going into 1 there on the last lap. It kind of cooked us both. But overall, congrats to Blake. Super happy to come on P2. It was a lot of fun there tonight. Had a little tangle up with John, cost me a few spots. I think it was just kind of a racing deal, but we're able to battle back up and get some good points for the first round.
Yeah, it was a run you really needed. Good stage points, good finish, and keeping this streak of good finishes going here right at the perfect time, basically.
Yeah, I couldn't be more happy. like I said, in the playoffs, I usually put in a little bit of extra practice and put in about an hour today extra, and it definitely paid off. I'm not one who can just jump in and get right after it, run up front. So yeah, just super happy the last 2 weeks going with finishing up front, get to talk to you guys, and hopefully carry the momentum the rest of the 2 weeks here and get into that final champ race.
Yeah, what are your thoughts going into next week's race?
Dover's one of my favorites. It's up there with Vegas, if not even more so. The only thing with Dover is it's a tricky track, and there's really nowhere to go when there is trouble. So I'd say try and qualify up front and stay up front, and then I think the rest will take care of itself.
Alrighty, well, once again, Justin, a fantastic race for you. Any sponsors, plugs, and shoutouts you'd like to give?
Yeah, first, shout out Channel 199. I think we finished 1, 2, 3 tonight. It's a shame Gavin kind of got caught in that trouble early on in the race. But overall, good team night. I also want to thank my sponsor, Best Friends League. It's a charity that advocates for no kill shelters and wants to bring about, a time with no homeless pets. So go out there and adopt from Best Friends League. It's where I actually got my dog when I was living in Colorado. So it's a great organization. And then shout outs the same as usual. Jill, my fiance, mom, dad, and the rest of the family who are always pulling for me every week. Shout out to you guys. You guys do an awesome job in the booth, and I always enjoy talking to you, especially after these races. So you had a good night. And then I try and do like a special shout out every week because I feel like I do the same ones. And this week I just want to give a shout out to Ethan Burrell and Dominic Wright. They're both pulling for me in the chat today. So that was super cool to see, and just came up one spot short. But hopefully next week we can find that last one.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, Justin. Hopefully we're talking to you again next week for the third time in a row.
Hell yeah. Fingers crossed, guys. All right. Well, thank you.
Well, now I am standing here with race winner Blake Reynolds. Blake, you came in well above the cut line. All you needed was just not having any big moments, and even then you could afford one. But you went ahead and won the race, locked into that title fight. When do you start looking ahead to Kansas? And talk to us about tonight and how you managed to win the race. You never really drove away and got a big lead. You always had somebody right on your door, but how'd you manage to keep the lead through all that?
All right, then. Keep your secrets.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's always the worst timing. I just had to pee. I just ran back in the room. Anyway, hey, how are y'all doing?
We're doing good, Blake. And I just asked there, you won the race tonight. You didn't need to. You came in with a big gap, but you went ahead and locked yourself in. So the rest of the playoff feels like, hey, that was a guy that's already locked in. We're good with that. But how did you manage to win this thing tonight? Because you never drove away and got that big of a lead. You always kind of had somebody like right on your back door, a couple car lengths away. Were you just running as hard as you needed to? Or if they would have had a little bit more, would you have been in trouble?
I was running as hard as I needed to keep the tires in check. You could definitely drive harder. I think some people earlier in the race drove harder and it kind of like hurt them a little bit. Whether it's just entering the corner too hard, burning off the right front, or focusing too hard on exit and sliding the right rear. I don't think I ever hit the brake pedal tonight, other than like entering the pit stall. So, this is kind of a super speedway in next gen and this car and trucks and all that. Kind of unfortunate. I just wish it drove a little cooler, It was fun that it was a loose setup. But yeah, it was. I just drove as hard as I could. I just wanted to win a race. It's been a while since I won. I was looking at the stats, and I just felt like I finished second too much, and gotten in wrecks and stuff. So I just really wanted a win to start off the this round of the playoffs.
Well, and that'll kind of lead up to my next question. Now, of course, we talked to John. He's wanting to win the most races in the season. That was like his goal. When I asked him about the championship, he's like, I just want to win. I don't, he wouldn't talk about the championship. But when do you start preparing for Kansas? Or are you just going to go in, fly by the seat of your pants like John said he was going to? Like he's just going to take it a race at a time? Of course, you are locked in. John would have to wreck out 2 weeks in a row and still probably be good. But Are you going to start putting in extra time for Kansas, or are you just going to wait until it's time for Kansas?
I might actually. I kind of forgot. This is the round of 8, right?
It is. There are 2 races now left in this round, and you are locked into race for a title in Kansas, I believe.
Awesome. Well, I guess yeah, I'll start practicing for that. I think I've explained this to y'all. I live in Texas. It's Central Time, and this series, for some reason, that I've yet to get an answer from Chad, this series starts an hour earlier than every other Elite series. So I get home from work, I chow down my dinner, and just jump in the rig. And it, pretty much by the time I jump in the rig, it's quali. So I unfortunately don't get much practice time for these races. I'm just kind of going off of my experience.
Also, the guy who's leading the points and he's tied for the most wins, he needs a little bit more help. Is that what we're hearing?
No. Well, it is nice to finally know that I can practice beforehand. I'm not saying, well, that's a bad.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Blake.
Never mind.
Actually, Blake, I think it's just Cup and Truck that start at 8:30 Eastern. Every other series is 7:30.
Oh, well.
It's 03 and IndyCar are also 7:30 EST.
I guess it's, the longer races. That makes sense, especially the 03. Well, I only race in this series in Cup, and Cup is the other one, and then Trucks I know because I think Paul races there, and we talk about it. I'm like, that series starts on time in my head. So, Central Timers, it's a little uncomfortable to run in the Xfinity series.
Talk to Tate Lytle. He'll be your buddy.
Oh, yeah?
Western time
Washington,
zone.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I don't know what kind of job he has. I drive an hour home from work, and I get off at 5:30, so I am in the door by the time Chad's given the driver's meeting.
Well, here's what I know, Blake. You've been running this well without practice, and now you're going to put in time for Kansas. So I apologize for even bringing it up to the rest of the field because Blake's liable to go out to Kansas and lap the field. So we'll see.
I mean, that may be similar to this. A little bit of a super speedway. Don't have the biggest horsepower. It kind of depends what the setup's like too. Kansas is known for having terrible fixed setups, like the one we just had. That's not on Chad or anything. That's just the iRacing fixed setup. The one we just had in the Cup series.
This looked great to us. I don't know what you're talking about. Terrible cars sliding around. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Oh well, yeah, this was good. But Kansas is known for having bad fixed setups from time to time. So I guess I'll be the first one to test that to see if it's good or bad. And just hope that race goes good. And hopefully it's not, a caution fest or a tire lottery. It could be a nice, smooth race like it was tonight, at least from my seat.
Well, all right, Blake, I think we've kept you long enough. So we're going to ask you to give us those shout outs and who helps get it done for you week in, week out. And
well, Track Racer Simulation, Channel 199 Sim Racing, Racecraft Academy, Drake Machine Works, JD Designs, John Cutlip for painting my beautiful cars this season. This being my primary, and then the DMW blue and green car that I run on night races. So shout out to him for that. You guys are putting this on the broadcast. It's always a good watch back when I watch it back. Chad and the admin team for putting on the league and all the good fun stuff. What's next week?
Dover. You head to Dover next week.
I'll see y'all at Dover.
Well, all right, Blake, congrats on the win tonight. We'll see you at Dover, and good luck chasing that championship.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, James, Dave, we seen a pretty good race tonight. Lots of tire fall off. Some guys kind of shot themselves in the foot. Some guys got a hole to dig out of. Any final thoughts from you, James, before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, Vegas always tends to be really fascinating in one way or another. And this race was absolutely not short on excitement and jaw-dropping moments. So it definitely got it. This round started off on the right foot or the wrong foot, depending on who you ask.
What about you, Dave? On your return, any final thoughts from you tonight before we pack this thing up and head towards Dover?
No, as expected, as we see the playoffs keep going. We ratchet up the I expect chaos. It, like everybody said, tight track, so out of the way. Big wild card there for being caught up in.
Well, all right, then. I think that's going to do it for us here from Las Vegas. I want to give a shout out to Dave for all he does here at the Elite Racing Network. James for joining me tonight. Everybody from Chad with what he does with Elite, Blue Egg Marketing, of course, Worldwide Technology Raceway, and Mark wasn't here tonight. Mark must be out somewhere taking pictures, doing his daily job there. So we missed you tonight, Mark, but keep taking those pictures. And if you don't follow Mark on social media or anything, follow him. He's a great follow. Lots of great stuff. There's a link on his X account to all the pictures he's taken over the years. So check him out on Twitter. But that's going to do it for us from Vegas. We'll see you next week, same time in Dover.
Mm-hmm.